Guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah. This is Matt and Sarah's World, as you hopefully know, and I'm jumping into a game from Itch called But You Seem Fine. Visual novel based on one of the developers' struggles with invisible illness. Step into the shoes of 14-year-old Rakim, hopefully I said that right, who becomes sick with a mysterious illness, and follow her journey as she and her mum search for answers. I'm hoping I don't get too emotional during this game, because obviously it might resonate a little bit with my own journey of finding out what on earth I had when I got sick almost 4 years ago now. But we will see. I have no tissues, so if I run away, that's where I'm going. Right. Here goes. Use headphones for the best audio experience. Got 'em! Based on a true story, but it is not meant to substitute professional help, nor reflect the range of experiences surrounding invisible illness. Thank you. I like that opening. Hang on. Can't hear anything. I'm right up. Ray, this isn't fair. Okay. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Why can't I find some answers? Chapter 1. Why am I nervous? God, my hands are shaking and I'm nervous. You awaken in your bedroom, the sun is shining in through the window. It's just another Monday. She's a musician. Okay. Your computer is sitting beside you on the bed, still open to the paused screen from the night before. You must have fallen asleep watching the new season of Super Space Sailors, a documentary on genes and cloning. Boring. A performance by Yo-Yo Ma. I'm going to go with the last one, because I'm going to assume the last one is music related, and she seems music related. There we go. It will always blow your mind how a single man can play the cello so beautifully. However, his music does tend to soothe you into an unwakeable coma. You rub some of the sleep from your eyes and head downstairs before you're even later than you already are. Hello, Mom! Good morning, sweetie. If you had slept any longer, I would have left you to fend for yourself. But since I have some time to spare before heading off to work, what would you like for breakfast? Oh, bacon and eggs, Johnny cakes, fried rice. I'm gonna go with Johnny cakes because I want to know what that is. You want what now? Johnny cakes. They were a staple of the early American breakfast. The founding fathers ate them. Fried cornmeal in a cast iron skillet was how they started the days. So why can't I, right? Mum does not look amused now. Right, well, I don't have that, but I do have French toast. Alright, at least Lafayette would be proud. Lafayette? You're gonna have to excuse me. This kid seems to be extremely smart, and there's gonna be things I can't say by the sounds of it. Give me French toast or give me tea. Excuse me, Ray Kim. Are you forgetting something? Please, would you do me the absolute honour of preparing me breakfast, dearest mother? Okay, save the dramatic language for the theatre, but thank you. While Mum prepares breakfast, you pack your lunch for the day. Looks like the only option is leftover tikka masala. No. No, maybe not. Mum sets your French toast on the table and you shovel it down before heading out the door for school. So we have no lunch because I said no. You arrive at school in record time. Was it breakfast that made the difference? Mum was always a killer chef and French toast has never failed you. Oh, she's so cute. You're lost in thought and heading towards your locker when you spot the one, the only, Sadie! Inquire about life, complain about school, discuss the latest episode. Life! How's her life? Sadie, what's up? Typical teenager. Well, please tell me you finally caught up on Super Space Sailors because I cannot hold back these spoilers anymore. Well, come on! The hall monitor shoots you both a nasty look. Lowering her voice, Sadie continues. I know it has only been so-so since Captain Park got killed off, but you just have to make it through the first 4 episodes, and then it gets good again. 4 episodes. I need to slog through 2 whole hours before it even gets good again. They bring back that researcher, Emma Starling. 2 hours is doable. You chuckle to yourself and head to your first class of the day. She's so cute. Home sweet home. Mum and Dad won't be back from work for a couple of hours and there's a lot to get done. Homework, play soccer, practice cello. You are feeling artistic and musical, plus the swan from Carnival on Animals has been stuck in your head since you heard it earlier in class. You pick up your bow and start playing. What do you do? I suppose you should do a homework. Maintaining good marks does not come without effort. You think you heard someone say that at some point. Regardless, you dive headfirst into some worksheets from today. Can I go on auto because my hand's hurting? Right, play soccer. Done the other 2. Let's go and play some soccer. Seems like forever since you kicked around the soccer ball in the garage. Okay, maybe we don't want to go on auto. I can't read it on auto. It's enough one day your throat is starting to feel a bit scratchy. Maybe it's allergies. Either way, you better get some rest. You shuffle to your bed and call it a night. That's a shame. I'd like to do it on auto so my hand doesn't hurt, but auto's too fast. You wake up the next morning totally unable to breathe, that is, until you open your mouth. Your nose is completely congested and you can barely make a croaking noise without your throat burning. Yep, I'm sick. This blows. Sleep. You let your eyelids close, you drift in and out of consciousness, you fall back asleep. Your eyelids get heavier and heavier, slowly you drift off. Turns out this cold hit you harder than normal and recovery is taking longer than you're used to. You miss a full week of school while you're sick in bed, battling fever, congestion and throat pain. My heart. 1 week later. You finally feel well enough to come back to school. You're excited to be back in the swing of things. You've missed orchestra, you've missed drama club, and most of all, you've missed your friends. Speak of the devil, there's Sadie. Talk schoolwork. Okay, give it to me straight. How much work did I miss? Ray, where on earth have you been? I was actually starting to worry. You explain how the last week of your life has been spent battling sickness in your bed. Your only contact with the outside world was when your mum would come in to give you medicine and soup. Yikes! But you aren't still contagious, right? No way, I haven't felt sick since Friday. I tried to text you, but I kind of lost my phone and a wad of tissues. Ray, that's disgusting. But you're really better? Yeah, although, nothing, I just wish I wasn't so tired. You go to the rest of your classes for the day, you get to catch up on schoolwork. School is over, what do you do? Work on writing with Sadie, catch up with Sadie. You travel the familiar path to Sadie's house and set up shop with her at her dining table. You realise that if we wanted to, we could register to become an official club with the school. Oh, why would we want to do that? Well, we could use a classroom for meetings and maybe you can get some money for snacks. Excuse me, what's wrong with my lovely home and we have snacks right here? Stale Cheetos do not count. Whatever, more for me. Now help me come up with a name for this new character in my story. She's a teenage princess who is also an assassin, and her mark is her betrothed prince. Thought your story was about space ninjas. It is. Alright, how about... A wave of hard adjustment passes over Sadie's eyes, as if her very soul is pleading for you to just want to take anything seriously, ever. No, but Alex, simple and effective. I like it. The two of you laugh and work on your stories until it's late and you both get tired. Thank Sadie's parents and head back home. Since when did you get so exhausted so easily? Poor girl. Oh, she's sick again. When you wake up the next morning, you're stuffy, have a fever and an incredible headache. How are you sick again? You just got better, but it looks like this sickness is back for round 2. I would give anything to stay in bed longer. There's a knock on your door. After a short pause, Mum comes in. I know you are not still in bed. It's nearly time for me to go to work. Mom, please. Ray, you're not looking so hot. I don't feel 100% better. Looks like that cold decided to stick around a little longer. Stay home. I'll call the school and get you excused. It's better to sleep and let this bug pass. You want to argue. You have a ton of schoolwork and a million club responsibilities, but the thought of going back to sleep is just too tempting. Oh, I know that one. Thanks, Mum. Mum smiles back and heads into the hallway. You fall asleep once more. Morning again. The sun streams through the window, forcing you to shield your eyes. Heading off to work, but I'll leave some medicine on the nightstand. Feel better, sweetie. You grumble in response and fall back asleep as she leaves. Wake up groggy and tired. You're very disorientated. You have no idea how much time has passed or how long you have been asleep. It seems late. Check your phone. Your phone reads 9:30 p.m. You can see light peeking from underneath your door. Hear your parents talking softly to each other as they watch TV in the other room. You look down at your phone again. There's one new message. Sadie. Hey, you're not sick again, are you? pocket your phone and head downstairs. Your stomach is grumbling. You're not quite sure when you last ate. Mum. Sit down. We have some leftovers from dinner. Would you like me to reheat them? You nod. Mum pulls out a plate and uncovers it before popping it in the microwave. You stare blankly into the distance. Mum places the plate in front of you, then leans against the counter, watching as you start to eat. She's clearly concerned. Thank you. Finish your food and get up to leave the table, but before you go, you glance back around. Hey, I love you. You head back upstairs and go back to bed. You wake up again. Some time has passed, but you don't know how much. You roll your body to the edge of the bed, but anything more is just not possible. Waking up again, you realise you are no less tired than when you last slept. You have no clue how long you've been asleep. Poor kid. Oh, I hate that it's crossed out. This is not on. Ah! Yeah, lie down. Okay, go lie down. Okay, you rub some of the sleep from your eyes. Oh, Mum is looking at you worried. You frown. We're going to the doctor, sweetie. Time to get up. You grumble. She helps you get dressed and you stumble into the car. Oh. You and your mum are at the doctor's office here to see your primary care physician, Dr. Harris. Brings you in today. Hello, Dr. Harris. I like your eyebrows. Mum explains the getting sick, the endless sleeping, the suddenness of it all. Well, I'll do some checkups and see if anything's wrong. How many tests is she gonna have? As you open your mouth, say ah. He checks your eyes, your ears, your nose. He pulls out his stethoscope and listens to your heart. He listens to you cough. He listens to you breathe. Takes your temperature, tests your reflexes, takes your blood pressure. All of the usual. All of the usual. What's he gonna find? Absolutely bloody nothing. He sits back. Well, nothing seems to be wrong. You've shaken the bug completely. But you're in high school, aren't you? You're 14. Oh, don't. Maybe this has something to do with your hormones, or maybe you're just depressed. I want to reach through there, grab your throat and give you a bloody good shake. You stare blankly. Mum frowns. Mum, she's not just depressed, there's something wrong. I've never seen her like this before. I know what she's normally like and something's not right. He sighs and scribbles something onto a pad of paper. He rips off 2 sheets. Here, 2 prescriptions. One for birth control, one for antidepressants. Maybe she'll get better. Seriously? Did he seriously not believe me? I'm your mother. I know what I'm talking about. The nerve of that man. You say nothing, choosing to stare out of the window. I love how she's standing. They're both standing up in the car. We're going to have to look somewhere else. Mumble an agreement, then nod off to sleep. Chapter 2. Oh, you blink slowly and start to wake up. You don't know how long it's been since you first got sick, but your days seem endless now. Look at your phone. Check your phone and you see you have a new message. It's Mom. Hey sweetie, don't forget we have a doctor's appointment at 1:30 today. I'll be by to pick you up at noon. Make sure you eat something. She still can't get up. Still feels like you've been hit by a truck. Nothing would feel better than slipping back into a temporary coma. You pull your covers back up to your chin and let yourself doze off. Ray, wake up. You wake up suddenly to the sound of your mum's voice. She's shaking you by the shoulders and trying to get you up and out of bed. Ray, we're going to be late to the doctor's. Did you not see my text message? Do as she says. Groggily, you pull a hoodie over your head and put on a pair of sweatpants while Mum rushes you out the door and into the car. You fidget uneasily as the two of you wait for the doctor to appear. Mum said he's an ENT doctor, but you're not sure what that stands for. Ear, nose and throat. Based on the large picture of a cross-section of a head on the wall, you guess it stands for ear, nose and throat. Yeah. Mum got a referral from your primary care physician after he found out you had been congested and sick a couple of times. Don't know why we're even here. Been there, honey. 10 more minutes go by. Hello, I'm Dr. Clark. Mum goes over the same spiel that she gave Dr. Harris. He listens and nods occasionally as he inspects you for normal checkup procedures. While her ears and throat look fine, I'll need to take a closer look up her nose. He pulls out a long thin device. It looks like a stick. He says it's a camera, and your great discomfort, he shoves it up your nose. Nope, not really seeing anything here. He moves the stick around. It hurts a little, but it's mostly just weird. He leans back in his chair, finally finished. You know what I think? I think she's a teenager. She's had a cold, and now she's milking it for all that she can. Her chart says she's on antidepressants already, so there's not much more I can do. Look, kid, you just have to suck it up and go to school even if you're sick. You know, when I was a kid, I got the chicken pox and I still went to school. Sad thing is, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or an adult, they still treat you like this. He rambles on for a bit as you zone out. Mum stares at him in silence, but you can tell that she's carefully holding back her words. When he finishes his lecture, he calmly stands and walks out of the room. You shuffle out after her. Make a brief stop in the waiting room while Mum takes care of the copay. Then you both head home none the wiser than when you came. Several days later. It's the weekend after your appointment. You're resting in bed when your phone vibrates. It's a text from Sandy. Dude, we start new projects in art class tomorrow. What's something awesome you can put on your wall? That's so sweet. Plus you would be lying if you said you hadn't been asking for some art from her for a while. Super Space Sailors, fan art. You hit send and before you know it there's a response. You got it, Captain. Just make sure you get back to school at some point to pick it up. Yeah, hopefully. Sooner rather than later if you have anything to say about it. Her mum calling for you from the kitchen. You pocket your cell phone and get out of bed. Coming. Ah, look who came when called. Yeah, about that. What could you possibly want this early on a Sunday? Ray, it's 2 p.m. Oh. I need to bring a dish to the potluck at work tomorrow. Since you've spent the last few days in your room, I figured you might want to help. I don't know. I'm still tired, Mum. Mum sighs heavily. Alright, just help me choose something people will actually eat. Green bean casserole. Ray, I said that people will actually eat. Green bean casserole is great. You get to trick everyone into thinking it's healthy by putting a vegetable in the title. What the lady wants, the lady gets. Hey, maybe you can prep the rest of the ingredients while I run out to the store and grab onions. Sure, and while I'm at it, I'll give you $1 million. Hey, it was worth a shot. Your mum giggle as she turns back to the fridge. Several weeks later, she's still off school. You and Mum have another doctor's appointment. This whole process is starting to seem like a cycle of missing school and getting nowhere, but you guess finding an answer is worth it. Apparently there is a chance this whole energy issue is a problem with your heart, so you're in to see a cardiologist today. The doctor listens to your heartbeat and your breath. Seems alright, but let's do a cardiogram and a heart ultrasound just to make sure. Oh, at least somebody's doing some tests. You lie down on a table. The tech attaches 20 different electrodes to your head and your chest for the cardiogram. You lie there and feel like a potato battery. After a few minutes, you're issued into another room for the ultrasound. Take your shirt off and the tech pushes down on your chest with the device covered in cold gel. She keeps looking for different angles and it hurts your ribs. You wince at the pressure and squeeze your eyes shut, trying to go somewhere else in your mind. You see your heart show up on the black and white monitor. It seems small. The nurse examines it. Well, you have a teeny tiny heart murmur, but it's really small. I don't think it's anything to worry about. Definitely not the issue here. Great. Another dead end. Phone lights up. There's a reminder in your calendar. 5 monologue for full play auditions. Damn, you really want to try out for the lead. But you haven't had the time or energy to prepare anything. Maybe you'll feel better by next week and can find something in time. There's also a text from Sadie. You, me, Super Space Sailors Marathon this weekend. We can finish the whole season if we watch non-stop for 24 hours. That would be so much fun, but you know that you just don't have the energy to get to Sadie's place, let alone stay up with her for hours on end. Rain chat. You send the text and took your phone away, staring out the car window. These doctor's appointments are wearing you down. You're not sure if it's even worth it anymore, but you still wish you had an answer. Yes. Of course, we've hit a few dead ends, but someone's got to come up with something. Sure, there were some bad apples, but maybe the next doctor will be better. Several weeks later, she's turning into a pincushion. Wake up in your room and find yourself. You wake up and find yourself in your room. Everything seems kind of peaceful. Weird. You glance at the clock. 8:48. This does not bode well for your 9 o'clock class. Mom? There's no response. You must have already left work. You grab the nearest articles of clothing and sprint into the bathroom. Maybe if you hurry, you won't be that late. Oh, itchy nose. Arriving in class at a solid 5 minutes late, you slam your backpack down and pull out your notes. The rush of adrenaline from booking it to school has got you wired. As fast as you can, you start scribbling down the notes on the whiteboard. Okay, adjectives, nouns, modifiers, they describe a noun, adverb, adjective, verb, or other adverb modifiers. Examples include. Ray! Huh? Sadie. Dude, it's time for PE. Wait, what? Oh god. Haha, did you fall asleep? Yeah, can I borrow your notes? I mean, sure, but you seem like you made good progress already. What? You look at the notebook in front of you and sure enough there are lines of notes written in on the pages. Barely legible, but still there. Whoa, did I write these in my sleep? Oh my gosh, that is like a superpower. I would kill to be able to do that. You're not sure how you feel about that statement, but you brush it off. Since you woke up, you're feeling surprisingly refreshed. As weird as the nap was, it gives you enough of a boost to make it through the rest of the school day. Several weeks later. Mom got a recommendation for this holistic doctor. Dr. Worth. Alternate medicine as a concept doesn't exactly click in your mind, but at this point you're getting desperate for answers. His office is in a nice part of town and it was hard to find parking. As you walk in, you notice that the office is covered in embroidered pillows. His Harvard degree sits on the wall in a nice frame. Dr. Worth listens to the spiel. He says he has some ideas about what might be going on and orders some blood tests. Go to the section of the office with aka the person who draws blood. She pulls up your hoodie sleeve, ties your arm off and disinfects the bend of your arm. Tells you they need 11 vials of blood today. Ouch. You nod. Slides the needle in, but you don't look. After you get your blood drawn, you meet up with your mum at the front desk. Apparently the doctor recommended some specialist supplements that he also sells in-house. You watch as the price tag climbs with each additional bottle. You find out, of course, that they're not covered by insurance. Mum pays the exorbitant price and then the two of you head home. Several days later. Spend the next week downing extra supplements, vitamins, minerals, weird powders you mix with apple juice, you name it. Some of them taste gross and some of them are the size of horse pills, but you swallow them all. With your previous meds and your new supplements combined, you now have a personalised medicine chart taped to the inside of the pantry cabinet. There's your morning pills 7, your lunch pills 5 and your night pills 9. For a whopping total of 21 pills a day. These pills are supposed to make you feel better. Why do you feel so much worse all the time? Several weeks later. You and your mum are back to see Dr. Worth. He pulls out some pieces of paper. They have your name on the top as well, a bunch of tables with all sorts of numbers on it. Do you know what these are? Chart of some kind. Right. Shows a high level of liver enzymes. Shows on a bit about how certain activities had side effects that are evident in many ways. Teenagers often fail to realise that the stress they place on their bodies has lasting effects. Seeming cool is more important than their health. Wait a minute. What? There's no easy way to say this. Your daughter is sniffing glue. Excuse me? I'm not. Honestly, the absurdity of the proposal shakes you more than you're willing to admit. You, Ray Kim, the druggie, getting high behind the dumpsters after 5th period. Maybe if you planted that rumour in the school, you could gain some street cred, except for the fact that a total of 0 people would believe it. I understand that this is hard to hear, but catching it early is the first step to recovery and intervention. Mum cuts him off by standing. Thank you for the advice. Good day. Uh-oh, Mum is overemphasising her sentences. This isn't good. You follow Mum out the door, leaving Dr. Worth shaking his head. Silence is palpable. Not sniffing. I know. Because I would never. I know. Great. What a complete and utter waste of time. Phone lights up. It's an email from Mr. Jefferson titled "See me for exam score." Crap. The only time Mr. Jefferson asks his students is when they are failing. This is not a good day to be missing school again. There's also a text from Sadie. You're not dying, are you? Someone at school started a rumour you were dying. It was Karen Murphy. So of course I don't believe her. But still, you would tell me, right? Her, Karen Murphy. If you had the mental energy to be mad, you would. Not dying, just sick. Talk soon. Send the text and took your phone away, going back to looking out the window. Well, so much for this doctor being better than the rest. In fact, this doctor may have been even worse. Been there. The only thing these doctors have done are make assumptions about who you are, and a grand total none of them have helped in the slightest. Yep, been there too. Why can't someone just tell me what's wrong already? Despite everything, the chance of finding out what is wrong is still worth it, for now. Several weeks later. It's midday. You can tell the minute you open your eyes from the sun shining through the window. You have not been to school any day this week or last week. Don't even want to think about all the makeup assignments that you're going to have when you finally go back, if ever you go back. Sometimes it feels like this sickness will last forever. Rolling out of bed, you see your cello across the room. It's been a while since you played, but nothing would make you happier. You grab your backpack and take out the sheet music your orchestra director sent you. No time like the present. An hour of practice will help keep up with the rest of them when I get to rehearsal again. Take out your cello from its case and pick up your bow, prepping for the start of the piece. The notes are long and flowing. It feels amazing to play, but before long, your arm position on the cello weighs you down. Your muscles ache from moving the bow back and forth. You look to the clock. Only 20 minutes in. I never feel tired after only this long. Set your cello back in its case and take a break. You don't know why you thought you could actually practice normally, especially given how you have been feeling lately. Several weeks later. I'm going to see a blood doctor today. You didn't know there were doctors that just studied blood. Ready for another run-of-the-mill experience similar to the ones you've had before? Ray Kim. Nod, but the doctor doesn't even lift the gaze from the file in her hand. She lifts her eyes over her rectangular glasses to get a better look at you. Looks looks back down at the file with her notes and back at you, then back down. I think it might be Lyme disease. It's pretty rare, and I'm not sure if you've been in an area with ticks, but it's worth checking it out. I'll order a blood test. You were almost taken aback by the efficiency of the appointment. She didn't even touch you or come close enough to get a good look at you. Maybe it was just that good, or just that bad. Your phone lights up. It's a text from your orchestra conductor. Regrettably, you are being cut from the upcoming recital for not attending enough rehearsals. You feel tears sting at your eyes as you put your phone away. It's also a text from Sadie. Hey, can't talk. You send the text, tuck your phone away and stare out the window. You try not to think about how much you wish you could play in that recital. Today was a complete bust. Yes. Look at Mum. Despite everything, she is still your strongest advocate. She might be the only one on your side at all. I have somebody like that. She's fighting so hard for you that it makes you determined to keep going. Another doctor it is. Yeah, I think I would have given up a long time before actually getting a diagnosis if it hadn't been for that. Auditions for the school play are tomorrow. You haven't had much time to prepare, but there are some monologues you still have memorised from last time. Hamilton. Nice. Pull out the script and start flipping through it until you find a chunk of text that works for this edition. Then you get to work. Hours later, you lay back on your bed, having memorised and practised your audition to your heart's content. Proudly set your alarm and climb into bed, ready for tomorrow. You're gonna miss the alarm, aren't you? The next day. Ouch. Mom. Ray. Your eyes open to find your cheeks sitting in your breakfast. Huh? What happened? Well, I'm not an expert, but I believe you fell asleep in your breakfast. Huh? Rises out of a chair and wipes some of your breakfast off your face. Mom is watching you carefully, even walking to the sink tires you out. You lean against the counter and try to rub some of the sleep from your eyes. Honey, I really don't think you should be going to school today. Auditions. I know, it's your choice. She's right, you know she's right. Doesn't make it hurt any less. You can barely function this morning. There's no way you were going to make it to this afternoon. Okay. Several weeks later. You had no idea there were so many types of specialist doctors. But here you are, and somehow you've made your way to infectious diseases doctor. Mum launched in his spearless before. This doctor doesn't even have the decency to talk to your face. He talks over your head directly to Mum, showing her a series of laminated sheets with charts and graphs on them. Rude. Mum notices your sour expression. So Ray, what do you think of all this? Dr. Lee, as it says on her coat, turns and gives you an obviously small smile. Oh, you don't have to worry about the fine details. I'm sure they'll go over her head anyway. You sit there taken aback as Dr. Lee turns back to Mum. Excuse me, I may be a kid, but I'm not stupid. You sit there fuming while Mum smiles and nods to the doctor. Dr. Lee thinks you probably have something, but not an infectious disease. Yeah, I could have told you that one, genius. Despite the lack of an infectious disease, she writes you an official doctor's note to excuse you for the amount of school you've been missing. The second the appointment is over, you beeline out the door. Neither of you are happy about the appointment you just had or the money you just spent. You look at the note in your hands, an official excuse you've been missing class. The note reads Infectious Disease Clinic in bold black letters at the top. It looks intimidating, but you suppose it's effective enough. After missing so much school, you need something to show administration so you don't get expelled. Mum looks at you, you look back at Mum. She squeezes your hand tightly, but her eyes are less bright than they were before. She would never show it, but the constant barrage of doctors has taken a toll on her as well. You can only be treated like a science experiment for so long before you snap. It just seems like no matter how hard you try, there are 1,000 things in the way of finding answers. Just wish things could go back to normal. You could leave behind the world of doctors and appointments for good. You were just so tired. Mum drops you off at school to send you a doctor's note. It feels like years since you've been here. You wish you were back for good. Dropping off your doctor's note at the front office, you head to the hallway. See if you can find any of your friends. Lo and behold, Sadie is standing right there at her locker, loading books in the bag. Casually say hi. You walk up to the locker, trying not to shock her too much, put on a soft smile. Hi. Sadie turns around and breaks into a smile too. Hey stranger, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Slings her backpack over her shoulder and pulls you into a hug. I was worried you were never going to come back and would just fade into the background, never to be seen again. Which made me wonder what would happen to your locker. Would they auction it off like in Storage Wars, or does it go to next of kin? You laugh at her bemused face. Man, she hasn't changed at all. Good. It all goes to my parents. Duh. Although you could probably steal some stuff before they got to it. I know how much you want my watercolour pencils. I would never, unless you were offering, in which case I would definitely take those off your hands. Both burst into giggles. So now that you are back, we have some catching up to you. You have to hear the hot gossip the Mackenzie is dishing. Your smile falls. Actually, I'm only stopping by today. I've got a doctor's note to excuse how much school I've been missing. Sadie deflects. Oh, I just thought. No, it's fine. Take all the time you need, but what is it? You haven't actually told me what you have. Is it contagious? Is that why you're spending so much time away from school? You don't really want to explain everything to yet another person, but Sadie is your friend. She means well. You launch into a summary of your life since the beginning of fall. The sleeping, the doctors, the pills, the endless number of tests. How discouraging it all is. How you wish you just had an answer. She nods along without saying anything. Actually, I have an appointment with a doctor that specialises in hormones. They might think of something that will help. Might? Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm just sceptical that anything will help. Maybe it's your diet. When I don't eat enough, I feel tired. That's not really... Or maybe you aren't exercising enough. My mum says young people like us need to run around and tire ourselves out in order to get a good night's rest. Well, drinking water can help the blood wake up and be ready for the day. I read that in a self-help guide. You read self-help guides? No, at least I didn't used to. After you stopped coming to school, I wanted to help, so I read up on some stuff. I got a book from the library called 1001 Diseases You Could Have and Not Know. She pulls a textbook from her backpack and shoves it in your hands. It's pretty hefty to be carrying around just in case you saw each other. You can tell that she put in a lot of effort for you, but this isn't really what you wanted to hear after the onslaught of doctors you just visited. Sadie shuffles her weight back and forth. She obviously wants to say something, but is clearly uncomfortable. Actually, have you heard of psychosomatic symptoms? Your heart drops. Yes, you have. Basically, when you think you're sick, but actually it's all in your head. And excuse me, I'm not saying that's what you have, but you've been to all of these doctors and they don't know what's wrong. Doctors are smart. They should know things. Right, they should. What if you aren't actually sick? Then you just need to think positive until you get better and things can go back to normal. Really? Stare at Sadie, almost in shock. Think positive. Are you serious? What? Do you think I'm making this up? Do you not believe me too? I do, but I don't know. I just don't see how you can say you are so sick and yet stand here and what? Look like you're fine. The words hang in the air for a moment, tears sting at your eyes. You stare her down for a few seconds before you turn around, walk down the hall and exit school. I seem fine. How could she say that? After I spilled my heart out to her and let her know what I've been going through, how could she still think that everything is fine? Several days later. Oh, God. I'm not crying. You're at another doctor's appointment with Mum. Yay. Visiting school took a lot of energy out of you and this isn't helping. You feel miserable. You've been sitting in this room for a couple of minutes, but honestly all these offices are starting to blend together. This lady is a hormone doctor. Dr. Jones gave you a referral after your blood tests were negative for Lyme disease. Surprise, surprise. The doctor enters the room with a flourish, her red cowboy boots flashing and her dress twirling. You look at her in awe. She sits down and faces you, and your mum, smiling brightly, extends her hand out to you. Hello, my name is Julie. What can I call you? Oh my God, you're going to treat her like a human. You shake her hand, a bit taken aback by her friendliness. I'm Ray, I'm sick, but I'm not happy about it, so that's why I'm here. Dr. Julie laughs heartily. You can't help but smile too. While your funny bone certainly isn't damaged, let's start at the beginning and try and get a grasp on what's going on. Mum, well, we believe it started at the beginning of this year with... Actually, Mum, could I hear this part from Ray? It may help me understand a bit better. You look at her for a second before launching into your own story, eager for her advice and opinions. She looks at you. Hello, little man. Mummy's fine. Mummy's just remembering things, which is not good. She looks at you, really looks at you like you're a person, not just some test subject. We know that feeling, don't we? Yes. Oh, you are pulling on the cables, little one. She listens to your story earnestly. When she has ideas and questions, she doesn't overstep her boundaries. Feels like you're involved in the process, like you have a seat at the table. Okay. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves, but I have an idea. I have your blood tests from Dr. Jones, and they show high levels of a hormone called cortisol. Do you know what that is? You nod, yes, you've heard this before. Dr. Julie continues to explain. Some of your symptoms and aspects of your story are typical of a certain illness, one that seems very familiar. These symptoms line up perfectly with what we call Cushing's syndrome. Based on your blood test, I believe that you may have an adrenal tumour on the pituitary gland that is affecting your hormones. Tumour? Dr. Julie smiles and places a comforting hand on your shoulder. I understand that this seems pretty scary, but an MRI... No, it's not that. It really wasn't. You couldn't really describe it, but you were almost Happy? Hell yeah. Cushing syndrome. Is it treatable? Well, we should confirm that it is what you actually have first, but with treatment it has been found to be completely reversible. You turn to Mom, who is smiling softly at your side. You hug her and she holds you close as tears threaten to fall from your eyes. Thank you. Aye. Dr. Julie walks with you and your mum as you head to the MRI. Hopefully this will be the last of those exploratory tests. Several days later. Well, please tell me that she's sorted. Please tell me. Sun is going down. As you open your eyes for the first time today, it's almost peaceful outside your window as you lie in bed. There's a soft knock on your door and Mum opens it slowly. Sweetie? You sit up out of bed, her voice is too soft, she strokes your hair and sighs. Does Julie's office just called us some news about the MRI? Oh. No, we both really wanted Dr. Julie to be right. No. I'm sorry, but the scan came back negative for a tumour of any sort. You feel numb, like the world just dropped out from under you and you are floating. You know you're supposed to feel happy, you know you're supposed to be relieved, but in your mind this was your solution, this was your answer. It was going to be the end of seeing all those doctors and getting all of those tests done. The end of being poked and prodded, of being treated like a science experiment, of being less than human. After everything, after all the hope you got from Dr. Julie, it's just another dead end. This isn't fair. This isn't how it's supposed to be. I'm a teenager. I should be enjoying life, going to school and getting in trouble for coming home late. It's what everyone else gets to do. That's what they do on TV. Why can't this just end? Mum leans in to comfort you, but you don't respond. Instead, you stare straight ahead, tears streaming down your face. She gives you some space. Sweetheart, just don't, okay? I hate this. I hate all of this. I just want to go back to school, see my friends. I just want to be a normal kid. I just want all of this to be over. Mum reaches out in comfort. Please, I want to be alone. She nods in understanding and rises, but before she leaves, she turns back. We're going to have to stop going to doctors for a while. We don't have enough money to see anyone else, but I promise we're going to figure out what this is. Shuts the door behind her and you curl into a ball underneath your blankets, letting your sobs overtake your body. You cry until you are absolutely exhausted and can't even move. Wake up in your bedroom, it's just another Monday. Don't get a choice. Just quickly as your eyes have opened, they closed again, you fall back asleep. Wake up again, it's still Monday. Aren't ready to get up yet, you fall back asleep. Wake up again, it's still Monday, you think. Fall back asleep. Oh, I hate this. Ray, get up. We are not going to be late today. Grumble as you get out of bed and change some clothes. Mum holds you into the car to take you to school. It's fall semester again. It's been 1 year since this all began, and despite being back at school semi-regular, you feel like you are always missing class to catch up on sleep, not to mention you're still tired all the time. You fall asleep in a couple of your classes, but you end up making it through the entire school day. Despite taking several naps, you're still exhausted. phone vibrates in your pocket. It's a text from Mum. She's out front to take you to another doctor's appointment. Right. It's your first appointment in a while actually, but you got a strong recommendation from one of your previous doctors. Maybe this time it'll be worth the cost. Grab your backpack and head down to the main office. By the end of last year, your family was too broke to see any more doctors, and they're not even considering the emotional cost of it all. But after a summer of no doctor's visits, your family has saved up enough money and paid enough bills to start looking into solutions again. Doctor comes in, her coat reads Dr. Shipley. Funny, that sounds like a sci-fi captain's name. Mum launches into an explanation. Dr. Shipley, like all the rest of the doctors, listens to the spiel. She, like all the rest of the doctors, nods her head. It sounds like you'll benefit from a sleep study, although it could still be something else, like get you scheduled one. You sigh heavily but make the appointment nonetheless. You schedule for next week in the sleep lab at the hospital. At least this test will be harder to fail given how great I am at falling asleep. 1 week later. Mum drags you to the sleep centre for your sleep study. You've never stayed overnight at a hospital before. This place is different than you expected. It's kind of cosy with lots of closed off rooms. To getting checked in, you're shown into a room. The sleep tech attaches what seems to be electrodes to your head, chest and legs. He also puts 2 elastic bands around your chest to monitor your breathing. Mum looks down at you. Gotta go and get Matt soon, so hopefully this doesn't stay much longer. Isn't much longer. And hopefully I don't keep crying. You look like a robot. You snigger. She kisses you on the head. I'll be back in the morning. Sleep tight. Crawl under the covers. Lights are off and the sleep tech talks to you over the intercom. Asks you to close your eyes, look up, look down, look side to side, check and see if the monitor equipment is working properly. Okay, you're all set. Shout if you need anything. You fade into sleep. Despite having numerous cords attached to you, sleep fine. Once you wake up, the sleep tech helps take some of the electrodes off, but not all of them. It's time for the nap tests. We'll have you try and fall asleep for 30 minutes every few hours. So nap tests are done, you'll be free to go. Do the first 2 nap tests and fall asleep easily. Seems like you're passing. I can hear your stomach grumbling from the other room. How about I order some food from the hospital's cafeteria? You nod. That sounds pretty good. Sandwich. It's easy. Your food arrives at the lab and you take a break to chow down. Not the finest meal I've ever had. I wish Mum had packed me something. Time to get back to taking naps. This actually isn't as bad as you thought it would be. You finish up the rest of the nap test. Finally, it's time to go home. The sleep tech takes the rest of the electrodes off your head and releases you from the elastic bands. Mum has been waiting for you outside. She gives you a hug. How'd it go? Did you sleep okay? Got to sleep most of the day, but I didn't feel like I was missing out on life. It wasn't too bad. Glad it reminded me when you used to sleep over with Sadie in middle school, though I'm not sure much sleeping got done there. You smile a bit. Those were fun times. 2 of you head out the door and home without another word about the study. Several weeks later. You finally got a letter in the mail and a phone call from the sleep doctor. Mum talked with her on the phone for a while, but you come to see her in person. No doubt you're just waiting to get informed about yet another dead end. So, we got your results back from the sleep study. I understand you have been looking for answers for quite some time, yes? Give her a weak nod. She hands you a packet of papers. It has some charts with numbers you don't understand. While after reviewing the test results, I feel confident that your symptoms are tied to a condition you may have heard of before. It seems like you have narcolepsy. You look up at her and stare in disbelief. Wait. It's been so long since all this madness began. Is this it? Are you here? Do you finally have answers? But narcolepsy isn't right. I've seen on TV that people just fall over all the time, usually with comedic effect. A few years ago, someone dressed up as Narcolepsy Man for Halloween, and it was pretty funny to see him just keel over and snore. That's not what I have. Narcolepsy affects the brain's ability to regulate sleeping and waking cycles, which is characterised by excessive sleepiness during the day and falling asleep for short spurts at a time. Sleep doesn't really do the job that it should be doing, so you wake up less rested than you should. You nod. What she's saying is actually making a lot of sense. Also, your story lines up with many that we get here at the sleep centre. Most patients present symptoms between the ages of 10 and 20 and often visit many physicians before receiving a diagnosis, if they ever do at all. With proper resource management and follow-ups, it is absolutely possible to live a full life with this condition. Tears come to your eyes. And you feel lighter almost. This thing you've been living with, this silent monster, finally has a name. Instead of shrugging when people ask you what's wrong, you finally have a real answer. Mom gives you a hug. She's crying too. You thank the doctor and schedule another appointment for a more in-depth session later on. Man! You and Mom are quiet on the ride home. Her entire demeanour has relaxed and you can see her relief. It's been a long couple of years for the both of you. Still, after the initial happiness, the diagnosis, a sombre feeling has settled within you. Haven't said much since leaving the office. What's up? Be honest. Feel like I'm supposed to be happy about this, but I'm just not. Mum looks over you, egging you on to say more. I don't know. I thought having a diagnosis would help. And it does help, a little. But we now have to deal with the aftermath. You sigh heavily. I know that you are trying to help, but I can't help but feel alone in all this, despite everything and everyone around me. No one really knows what it's like. It's just hard. Mum nods along with your words. I understand. It's been pretty tough for me too. Bite your tongue and let her speak. It's been heart-wrenching watching you change from the happy and boisterous girl you were to the worn-down person you are now. What these past few months have done to you, no young person should have to go through that, but that's no excuse to stop trying. Tears threaten to spill from your eyes and your hands shake. Not stupid, Mum. I know what managing a disease means. It means it's not curable. I'm gonna have to live like this forever. That there. There isn't any hope of getting better. Why should I try it all? Mum pulls the car over to the side of the road, turning off the car so that she can look at you head on. Ray Kim, what problems do you see in the world? What? Come on, it's not that hard of a question, is it? Name a problem that you can see. Kind of a vague question, but you ponder it Nonetheless, there's inequality, of course, and wars overseas. Also, the corner store stopped stocking strawberry milk over the summer, which was a real bummer. And there was everything, and you and Mum saw doctors that didn't take you seriously, a lack of understanding from people about what you were experiencing. It hurts your heart to think of those things. Empathy. People don't relate to things they don't understand. Okay, who is going to solve that problem? Again, you're at a loss for words. Because the way I see it, if you see a problem and no one is there to fix it, isn't it on you to take the first step? I love her mum. I want to give her mum a really big cuddle. You stop and think about that for a second. Did you get that off of Facebook? Ray, I'm being serious. You need to have a goal to work towards in order to keep going. Having a positive outlook on things is easy when life is going well, but sometimes life just sucks. When situations are out of your control, can you go onto the other leg? Oh man, that's the leg that's dead this week. When situations are out of your control, you can either wallow in your own thoughts or you control what you can, your outlook. But if you give up, there is no way for them to ever get any better. Don't want to lose my daughter to some condition she may have. I want you to find a way to be happy despite it. It's all I have ever wanted for you. Can't help it anymore and spring forward to hug your mum. You cry into her shoulder as you pat your head. You both sit there for a bit until you calm back down. Your father and I are here for you, and we always will be. You just can't give up hope on living a good life. Nod in her arms. You understand what you need to do now. Ah! Can you get off me, dog? It's Tuesday. Sadie is walking down the hall towards you, but she hasn't looked up from her phone yet. It's now or never. Sadie! She looks up and sees you smiling. She can't help but smile back. Ray, long time no see. Are you visiting? No, I'm actually back. For real this time. You're all better now. You smile falters just for a moment. No, I got a real diagnosis though. I think this one is legit too. You both stand there looking at each other. It's been months since everything went down between the two of you and you aren't quite sure what to say at this point. Look, I'm sorry I've been kind of distant. Everything just kept piling up. I didn't know what to do with myself. You actually tried to reach out when no one else seemed to care. I should have been a better friend to you. You shift your weight and take a deep breath. I was wondering, do you want to come over and write with me after school today? Sadie smiles, but there was something behind her eyes that would upset you. It's pretty obvious how much your fight hurt her. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Sure, I would love to come over. What are you working on these days? You laughed nervously, silently breathing a sigh of relief. I actually haven't touched my story since last year, so there's that. Gosh, that seems like a lifetime ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. I've been writing a lot since you've been gone. This summer I finished the first draft of that novel that I've been working on. Sadie, that's amazing. Sadie's bright face shines back at you. Thanks. You know, I actually am in need of a proofreader. The members of the writing club are not the best help when it comes to sentence structure, but that's expected when your club is 90% freshmen. Whoa, wait. Writing club? Yeah, I kind of started it last year after winter break. We only have a couple of members, but there's this one girl, Alicia. I think you would really like her. You giggle at Sadie's shyness, but it's obvious she's really proud of the club. You would never have guessed that she would start one on her own. Then again, it has been a whole year since you really hung out together. Maybe you weren't the only one to change. Well, if you happen to be accepting new members. Are you kidding? Of course you can join. But I have to warn you, it does conflict with Drama Club. That's alright. I always did like watching theatre more than doing it. Two of you laugh and chat all the way to her house. Turns out there is a lot to catch up on. Epilogue. Oh, God. How long is this one going to be? You girls have a good time and stay safe. Remember, if anyone makes you uncomfortable, you have my permission to punch them in the face. Thanks, Mom. And if anyone touches you, thanks, Mom. Okay, have fun. I packed you both green bean casserole in case you get hungry. Really? You made green bean casserole again? It went over so well at the potluck. How could I not? I'll be back to pick you up at 4. You and Sadie wave goodbye to Mum as she drives off. It's been a few months since you and Sadie reconnected, and the two of you have settled into a comfortable friendship once again. It's a little different from before, but just as loving. Sadie was the one to bring up going to the anime convention that's held downtown every year. You never had the guts to go before, but after everything that's happened over the past few years, you decided it was time to step out of your comfort zone. Alright, the Super Space Sailors voice actors have a panel at 2:15. Until then we can take a look at the show floor. Aye, Captain Itma, I'll set a course. Thank you, Miss Starling. You and Sadie set up through the aisles of the showroom. Vendors crowd the exhibit hall with all sorts of merchandise, plushes, clothes, art books, you name it. Plus there are cosplayers everywhere. Whoa, what are all those people crowding around over there? I think that's the artist whose dark and gritty takes on things that definitely don't need to be dark and gritty. Seems interesting. Sure, but you can only see so many teddy bear homicide detectives before it gets old. I'll take your word for that one, Sades. Hugh and Sadie laugh, hoping he didn't hear you criticise his work. So how goes the new medication? It seems like it may be working, but it's too early to say for sure. I'm just glad this one doesn't make me feel so jittery. Sadie nods along. You remember talking her ear off non-stop when you tried the last medication. It was supposed to keep you awake during the day, but instead it made your heart race and your whole body feel twitchy. Medication management has been its own journey as well. You've lost count of the number of meds you've tried. As of yet, you have not found a perfect balance between treatments and side effects. It can take a while. Hey, what's taken to hold down artist Sally? Two of you take a hard left and head down the path of posters and prints that line the way. An interesting piece of art catches your eye hanging on the wall at one of the booths. Hey, Sadie, wait up a second. Talk with the artists and she pulls poster down off the wall. Sadie gives you a bit of a side-eye glance. You hold the piece in your hand. It's a picture of a cello, but the background is made up of playbills from various musicals. It seems like it was made for you. Wow, seems abstract, although the use of colour is très minute. Smile at her lame attempt to be bilingual. I like it. Definitely worth the price tag. You hold the picture up to the light. This is going right up on your wall when you get home. Having to quit orchestra and drama club has been tough. You don't see your friends nearly as much anymore. But focusing on schoolwork has paid off pretty well. It took some time to get into the swing of things, but you're going to pass all of your classes this year. Your homeroom teacher even told you how impressed she was. You gently place the picture in your bag and continue with Sadie. I was meaning to ask you. Alicia and I are going to stop by the new boba place down the street tonight. Do you want to come? I would, but I have a doctor's appointment today. No rest for the wicked, as they say. Oh well. We can postpone if you want. Oh no, you guys go have fun, but let me know what flavours they have. We can go some other time. Sadie smiles at you and nods. Lately you've had to pick and choose when and where to spend your energy. It's just another part of your life that you've had to adjust to. Just as you turn the corner, something catches your attention. In the corner of your eye, a flash of a coattail disappears into the bathroom. Follow. I'll be back in a second. Nobody's here. You approach the mirror, take a good look at yourself. You've come a long way since the beginning of last year. Just as you're about to turn to leave, the lights begin to flicker before... Well, that's unnerving. I can't remember the last time the power went out. They come back on, and standing behind you in the mirror is a man you've seen before in every $10 bill, the white hair, the fluffy cravat, the tailored 17th century suit. Alexander Hamilton. He says nothing but stares deeply into your soul. You turn around but no one is there. The lights above you explode. Ray, you okay? Sadie is standing above you, your back is against the floor of the bathroom. Gross. Sadie helps you to your feet and brushes off your shoulders. What happened in here? Those who stand for nothing fall for everything. Excuse me? Nothing. Sorry, let's go. Maybe this is how it was always meant to end. Maybe there was another path. Congrats on finding the fake ending. Seriously? You're gonna do me like that, game? You seriously gonna do me like that? Telling me I got the fake ending? Well, you know what? I don't care. I don't have the emotion or stability to go through any of that again to get a different ending. According to Itch, there are 5 different endings. If anybody wants to attempt to find them, you know where to find the game. That hit a few nerves. I thought it would, but I didn't think it would hit quite so many. I also didn't think it was going to be such a long game. Playing that for an hour and a half, I thought it was just going to be like a 10-15 minute game or something, and I definitely didn't expect it to be quite as on point with some of the writing, the script. Some of the script was well, I could have been living it 40 years ago, let's put it that way. Apart from the fact that she's a 12-year-old girl, was going to school rather than work. Some of that really, really hit a nerve. I'm gonna have to leave the recording there. As I say, I do not have the emotional ability to try and find any more endings. I really hope you enjoyed the game, and please go and play it for yourself. And the one thing I will ask is, don't ever tell anybody who's sick to just be positive and get over it, because that really hurts. You're invalidating their illness by telling them to just get over it and think positive. So please don't ever do that. On that note, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to scarper and go and get Matt from work. And I will see you in another video, guys. Remember to like, subscribe and all of that good stuff if you want to see more.